Al, we are back again
Mm-hmm.
for the fifth time.
Wow.
Fifth time's the charm.
Wow.
Wow.
It's amazing.
It's time to once again open up the book of Jared and Al Watch to bring forth another series
And another season.
and another season for everyone here to enjoy.
Yay.
So this is season 5 of Jared and Al Watch. It is for a podcast where we watch series of anime. We watch an episode a week. We talk about it, and then we do that until the show's over,
Mm-hmm.
or until we can't watch anymore because of
Movie
reasons.
waiting.
Movie waiting being the key particular one.
Yep.
So if you are a first time viewer or listener, excuse me, welcome. This is what we do here. And if you're someone who's listened to this before, you know the drill by now.
Welcome back.
Welcome back. I'm Jared, joined as always by Doc Al and Ladium.
Hello.
We are the Jared and Al of Jared and Al Watch.
I just did a Nanako.
Good. So, season 5, we are heading back to the wayward year of 2013.
That was a weird year for me.
It's always a weird year for someone.
Yeah. I got my master's degree that year and started a PhD that year.
I went back to school that year. I quit a job that year.
Yay.
So that was a wild year. But yes,
Transitional life things.
yes. 2013, the year that the series we were talking about for the next 27 weeks
Mm-hmm.
aired. Well, the first season aired, and then the second season aired a little bit afterwards. We were talking about Love Live, which you're probably thinking, hey, didn't you guys already talk about Love Live? Well, yes, we talked about Love Live Sunshine, the second series in the Love Live franchise. So we're going back a little ways to talk about the first series, where it all began. This is Love Live School Idol Project. So now we'll learn all about those Muse references that we saw in Sunshine.
Yeah.
And now you'll be way more in tune with like what's happened.
That makes sense.
So we have 2 seasons of this,
Mm-hmm.
which I believe are 13 episodes each. We have a film afterwards, and then we're done. We don't have to wait on anything because all that stuff has already aired. Yay!
Yay!
Woo! That is the benefit of watching older shows. Sometimes that can still bite you in the butt, but
Yeah.
it is what it is.
I mean, Shirobako was also a little bit older, but
Yeah, that's true. that is true. So we were like always, usually like always. When we watch a show, we watch the English dub because it's just an easier, more convenient way to watch a series and everything. Of course, Shirobako was kind of the exception to the rule because there was no English dub for that series.
right.
And this is a bit of an interesting one because I have not seen the English dub of this, and you have not seen this series at all. So
Correct.
you were going in mostly relatively blind, and we kind of debated on which to watch because we are very much familiar with the Japanese voice actresses because of playing School Idol Festival and all that sort of stuff. So
Which is a good
Yes.
video game.
good video game. But also we looked at the English dub cast and we're like, this is a good cast, but also
Are they cast correctly?
might be real weird. Before we get into the English dub cast, which we'll go over and talk about for a little bit, Al,
That's me.
tell me everything you know about OG Love Live and Muse that you've learned through osmosis, through me, through Love Live Sunshine, and through Love Live School Idol Festival.
Okay. Oof. I know that there is Honk.
Yes.
I know that there is Nico Nico Ni.
Yep.
I know that one of the short-haired girls, like she's a cat.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there are 2 girls with like long bluish hair, but I can't differentiate which one's which.
One of them has bigger boobs.
Yeah, that is true.
That's how you'll be able to differentiate them.
I know Katori has her little like loopy loop.
Mm-hmm.
I know that Ellie is Kiria.
Yes. In the Japanese dub.
Yeah, in the Japanese dub. I know that Nico and Ellie are third years, and that
Mhm.
Hanukkah and Katori are second years. I know the
Mhm.
two short-haired girls are first years, and then
Mhm.
so is Maki, the
Mhm.
redhead.
Yep.
So I know who the first years are, but I guess that would. I don't know the two with the long blue hair.
Umi's a second year, Nozomi's a third year.
Okay. What else
But
do
that
I know?
but yeah, I mean, you know a good chunk of about Muse, about those characters, because you know you've played School Idol Festival, you've talked to
Mhm.
me, you've seen Sunshine where they're referencing that, but
Like
you
a
don't know the course of them going from nothing to basically being the purveyors of School Idols and becoming the biggest deal in School Idol history.
right. Like I know that they because of Chica being Chica that like they decided to be school idols so that they could save their school and that
Mm-hmm.
they became like a huge deal. Um I know that one of them was like hesitant because that became part of like Hanamaru's story.
Mm-hmm.
I know that there's a rail slide. I know that somebody works at a shrine.
Mm-hmm.
Um, there's something else that's important. Oh man, I'm trying to think of what else like I know, but I do know like relatively some stuff. I know that like um they wanted to practice on the roof because they practice on the roof. Is that correct?
Yep.
Okay. Um
And
I
you also know a chunk of the songs as well, so like you're gonna be able
yeah,
to
yeah,
pick and
yeah.
you're gonna learn the context of those songs by watching this.
Correct. Yes. So that's that's what I know. I know like who the main rival group is.
Mm-hmm.
They're like A Rise or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know who they actually are. Like I don't know any of their names, and I know that they have like that one song,
Well, they have a few songs.
Private Wars.
Yeah, they play that in the first episode, which I'll
Yeah.
talk about here in a bit.
Um. So like it's not doing too terrible.
No, so like it's gonna be interesting to see your reactions to all this because you know a lot about the characters,
Mm-hmm.
you know the songs,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't necessarily know the story,
No, I know like the general like
the gist of it essentially.
yeah.
Like, but you don't know like plot A to plot B and so on and so forth.
Yeah, I
So
don't know how they make Muse. I don't know why they're Muse. I don't know how people join up. I don't know any of that.
so I think that's gonna be a relatively interesting way to approach this series.
Mm-hmm.
And also like I've watched this series once.
Ooh.
And that's it. So I haven't seen this series since I want to say 2014. So it's been like 6 years. Because I watched it soon after I got into playing School Idol Festival.
And you watch Sunshine like every other month.
Yeah, that too. So there is that. It's gonna be an interesting road we go on, I think. So I'm excited to see how you react to things and how you come to be after once we get through all this and see the entirety of the Muse story and how you think like things compare and contrast to Sunshine and everything, which is gonna be I think interesting as well because you're coming to this with the framework of seeing Sunshine first
Mm-hmm.
and not seeing this first, so you'll be like, well, they did this and I think you'll maybe gain like a little bit more of appreciation for like what Sunshine does specifically and how like it is able to differentiate itself from this series
Mm-hmm.
in particular. So it's gonna be fun, I think.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Let's go through this English dubcast
Let's do it.
before we dive into the very first episode. Like we said, it's a very good cast, but there's also parts of it where like those are some strange castings. Like I wonder, if I was in charge of casting this show, would I have gone that route with putting that person with that character? And I think over the course of while we're watching this, we'll find an answer for that.
Yeah.
So we have Hanukkah.
Mm-hmm.
She is voiced by Mary Eve Harrington, which is someone I'm not too familiar with.
Yeah.
She voices Celestia in the game version of Danganronpa,
Okay.
and I think that might be the only thing I actually like know her from. As I scroll through this list, yep, basically that's it.
Wow.
She's done other stuff, but it's just not recognizable to
Not stuff
me
that
or
we
you.
know.
Yeah. Ellie is voiced by Erica Lindbeck, who
Mhm.
is Futaba in Persona 5. She's going to be Jessie in the upcoming Final Fantasy VII Remake. She
Mhm.
is Vita Clotilde in Trails of Cold Steel.
Mhm.
So a good number of stuff that we have seen and are familiar with. This might be the most puzzling that I think we found so far. Kotori is voiced by Christina V,
Mhm.
who, if you've seen previous seasons of this show, she voices Sailor Mars and Sailor Moon Crystal. She voices Mio and K-On!
Mhm.
Not necessarily a voice you would associate with a character like Kotori, who has a very high pitched voice.
Right.
So after we've seen that first episode, it's interesting.
Yeah, and I mean, like, we know that V can do high pitched voices because she does them like for other characters, but I just don't know that. I don't know. I don't love it.
It's very high pitched compared to I think other voices she's done as well.
Yeah.
Umi is voiced by Kira Buckland. She is Elise and Celine in Trails of Cold Steel.
Mhm.
Two characters that you would know.
Uh-huh.
She was Kyoko in the I Want to Eat Your Pancreas dub,
Yep.
which we just recently watched. She
Okay.
was Raimi in Diamond is Unbreakable.
Nice.
I feel like there's something else we could easily pull from as I'm scrolling through this list. She's Saionji in the Danganronpa 3 anime dub,
Mhm.
and then she's also Trucy Wright.
Yes.
So there you go. Rin is voiced by Faye Mata, which I'm real curious to see how they're going to do her voice, because a lot of Rin's voice in Japanese is just her changing words to put nya into them because she thinks she's a cat.
Cat.
So how will they do that in English?
Just have her say cat. I'm a kitty cat. And that's sense.
I can only hope.
And I mean, it wouldn't be wrong. She does dance.
It's true. Faye was Yukiko in Diamond is Unbreakable. So that's definitely some difference in between characters there.
No kidding.
Maki is voiced by Caitlin Glass.
Kirigiri.
Yes, she is Kirigiri in Danganronpa, the anime or the game?
That I couldn't answer. I just know she's Kirigiri.
It's the anime because she shows up here in the
Okay.
anime. She's the teacher in real life.
Mm-hmm. I didn't know she was Winry in Brotherhood.
And an OG FMA.
Yeah, well, in Brotherhood too, but I just didn't know that was the case. Kirigiri. God, she's done a lot of stuff.
She has.
God, why have you done so much stuff? I mean, like, I appreciate you having a job, but like, she was in Hyoka?
Was she?
That's what it says.
Who was she in Hyoka?
Hotaro's older sister.
Oh, this doesn't show up on my list.
Huh. She was in an episode of Pop Team Epic.
Well, yeah, everyone was in this Pop Team.
She's in 2019 Fruits Basket. Cool.
Yep.
Anyway, she was Cammy in Street Fighter 4. Wow, I didn't realize that.
Well, there you go.
That's interesting. Oh, she's Cammy in like a lot of things.
She is the Cammy voice.
She's Elma and Xenoblade Chronicles Cross, which also a thing.
That is also a thing. All right, there you go.
Yep.
Nozomi.
Mm-hmm.
She is voiced by Laura Post, who is going to be that new character in the new Persona 5 thing.
Oh, really?
Mm-hmm.
The royal thing?
The royal.
Okay, I wasn't sure if you meant the royal.
Yeah, the Lord song.
Or if you meant the Muso.
No. She was the one lady in Your Name that what's his face worked with.
Oh, okay. Like the older lady.
The older lady he had a crush on.
Mm-hmm.
She was Telu in Sailor Moon Crystal, who was one of the Witches 5 members.
Mm-hmm.
So we would know her through that.
She was on Hana.
You would know her through that.
Yeah.
Hanayo is Xanthian. I need like a pronunciation guide on her name to like so I can know how to pronounce it. So I'm not always just like which I always feel terrible about doing. She is Haru Persona 5. She's Altina in Trails of Cold Steel.
Altina.
2 characters we know.
Mm-hmm.
She's also in Anohana.
Oh, is she?
She's Minma.
Oh, that makes sense. That makes total sense.
See, these are things I can point out. Oh yeah, she's also Ui. Big
Oh,
one. Yeah.
wow. Yeah, that is a big one.
That's a big one. And then Nico is Erica Mendez, who is one of the good characters in Fire Emblem Three Houses. Bernie. One of the few good things about that game.
Yeah. I'm trying
Controversial statements.
I mean, just saying.
She's also in Anohana as Suruko.
Okay.
She's in
Yeah,
Trails
I'm
of Cold
trying to
Steel
figure out,
as like one of the
last
bonus
name-
characters
Oh.
at the end of the game.
Oh.
She's also Uranus in Sailor Moon, of course.
Mm-hmm.
One of the key ones we would know her from. Apparently she was in the CG version of Pac-Man as Pac-Man.
Good.
Clearly a good thing. And then some other of the supporting cast. Honoka's sister is Christina Marie Cabanos. One of the members of Arise is Cassandra Lee Morris, along with another one is Erica Harlicker. Karen Straussman plays the principal, and Stephanie Shea plays one of Nico's siblings.
Okay.
So again, a lot of good voices, a good talent in this dub. But how are they as they play their specific roles? That is what we're going to find out as we move through this series. And I think it's going to be very interesting.
Just as an aside, I think, and I could be wrong on this, that it's Xanthi Wynn is how you say her name.
That is totally not how I would have pronounced it, but I would go with that.
Xanthi Wynn is how I would pronounce it looking at it.
Okay. I would have to remember that.
Yeah, I think that's close if it's not correct, but that's how I would say it is Xanthi Wynn.
Gotta find a pronunciation guide.
Anyway, yeah, I'm interested to see like how some of them play out. Like I've only seen one episode, so I can't really say like, oh man, I love this or I hate this, or like I haven't even seen some of the characters talk really.
Yeah, you got a good taste of the second years and a little bit of the third years, but some of the other ancillary characters you haven't really. They had like a few lines of that.
Right. Not enough to gauge.
Correct. But yes, we are discussing for this episode that we're like 20 minutes in already. Season 1, episode number 1, entitled "Come True: Our Dreams of Love Live." We begin the episode with music and a song, a dance number.
Yep, which was confusing. I was like, is this the opening?
Nope, it is not.
It is not the opening.
We are beginning the episode in medias res. As we see Honoka and Kotori and Umi sing Susume Tomorrow for like a little bit, and then we get a wake-up call from Honoka. She's like, I'm Honoka Kosaka. I'm a second year at Otonokizaka. I just learned that my school's closing.
And then like passes out and like, oh, that was a weird dream. Oh no.
La da la da da. Everything's fine. There's just no big notices all across through the hallway about the school closing. Yes, so we get there was a big announcement from Principal Minami, who is Kotori's mom. She's also the principal of Otonokizaka. That the Otonokizaka is going to be closing down once everyone graduates because there's a lack of applicants.
Ba-ba-bum.
Which is, again, a little bit different than what Sunshine has, where it's not like we're closing the school down and you're going to merge with someone. Just like, no, we're going to keep everything open. So, like, once the first years are done and they graduate,
We just don't accept.
Then we're
anybody
done.
else. Yeah, then we're done.
Yep. That's it. So Honoka is just like, oh my gosh, what are we going to do?
What is tradition for the family to go?
I don't understand. So she's trying to figure out a good way to bring more prospective students to the school because she loves her school
Mm-hmm.
and she wants it to stay open. She doesn't
Yes.
want those first years to have to go to school without anyone else, without some underclassmen.
Yep.
That would be horrible.
And she wanted her sister to go there?
Yes.
Is that her sister?
Yes. Honoka goes home for the day. She goes to her home, which is a bakery. And she learns that her sister Yukiho is looking at enrolling at UTX,
Mm-hmm.
which again, another school that we have seen mentioned in Sunshine. Mostly just because like it was a big building where stuff happened.
Yeah, like it was important to Chika at points.
Mhm.
And also like events happen there.
Yes. So she wants to go there, and Honoka reads like the brochure and everything, just like, whoa, look at this school. And then she sees like her mom looking through an old photo book of her time at Otonokizaka and just being like, oh, we gotta figure out a way to go and keep the school alive. Honoka goes to investigate UTX and is like, holy crap, this school is huge. It's so fancy and modern. I can't believe it. She finds herself looking at the there's like a screen outside the school that's
Mhm.
promoting Arise, the school idol group for UTX.
She's like standing next to a girl with black pigtails and like a face
Mhm.
mask on.
Also during the scene, we see a prototype version of the Arena Hoshi
We do.
school uniform, which is a very interesting thing. Like, I doubt they were like, yeah, we're gonna use this later on a few years down the road for our next series. I think it's just probably
Right.
like, hey, this seems like an easy thing to draw. We could probably throw this in there.
Yeah.
But like once you go back and rewatch it, it's like, oh, that's a fun little Easter egg that was
Yeah.
probably very unintentional.
Probably.
Yes, she's watching and very blown away, and then this spunky pigtailed girl in a face mask is like, don't you know who this is? This is Arise. They're very popular.
They have private wars.
You see their song Private Wars for a bit, which is about demilitarization and not not being into the militarization of everything and don't have wars. Very anti-war anthem for school idols.
Yep, totally.
Man, Arise is woke.
God.
But yeah, Honoka is she was standing next to Nico, who she doesn't know yet,
Mhm.
but Nico's in disguise because she's a gremlin.
And the two short-haired girls went by at one point
Yes.
too.
Hanayo and Rin run up because Hanayo wants to see the video of Arise as well. While all this is happening. And then Honoka basically goes back the next day and is like, all right, we're going to be school idols. And she tells that to Kotori and Umi, and they're like, what? What do you mean? It's interesting, like, going and looking at this episode with, like, the hindsight of what's happened with the Love Life series since then, where it's like, you know, at this point in time, school idols are a thing,
Mm-hmm.
but they're not, like, this
The
huge
thing.
thing where they are by the time we get to Sunshine. So, like, you know, they're like, you see, like, oh, well, there's, you know, some school idols, they're in this section of Japan. There's some in this section, and they're representing their school and everything. But, like, it's not like this huge thing where, like, every school has their own school idols and probably multiple school idols at this point.
Right.
There's no, like, big competitions aren't necessarily a thing yet. It's just, like, a thing to help promote your school, essentially. So we are not going peak sports anime quite yet. So yeah, Honoka basically tells her plans and is like a little disheartened because Umi doesn't seem like she's in on the idea. Kotori is a little bit more keen on it. We see Umi go to her club, which is the archery club, and she's trying to shoot and basically missing a lot because she keeps thinking of herself as a school idol, and it like keeps throwing her off. And she has a conversation with Kotori about it, and Kotori's like, hey, why don't you just try it? See if you like, just humor her and see, maybe it'll be something you'd be into or whatnot. They eventually stumble upon Honoka like practicing and everything, and that kind of gives them like, hey, well, we should try this. Also, in the meantime, while this all is happening, Honoka realizes that she needs to find someone who can write music. It's a key thing you need to know. You need to have when you're a school idol. She finds Maki in the music room playing piano.
I have something about this.
Oh boy.
No, like I might be wrong. So
Okay.
like correct me if I'm wrong. But they reference this scene with Rico, don't they?
Yes.
Okay, because there's the part where she's singing and Chica's like, oh my God, I love you, and like reaches through the window for her.
Mhm.
And I think it's this song.
Let me do a check, actually. She does sing, she's singing Aishitaru Banzai, which is the solo version that Maki's doing by herself.
So maybe it's not that song. She's doing
Might be. She does sing an a Muse song.
a Muse song. So maybe, but it's very similar in how it's like framed. Like when Rico's doing it, it's in like a blue lighting, and I think she's in her room.
Yes.
But the way that they have the like look of her, and then Chica coming in and being like amazed, it's very, very similar to how
it's a different song.
Okay, it is a different song, but it's framed very similarly.
Yeah. Which is, I mean, essentially supposed to invoke that same
I
mindset.
But
yeah.
like, hey, I recognize this.
Mm-hmm. So Honoka's like, oh my gosh, you should join us. And Maki's like, no,
and then runs away.
Please get away from me. Honoka eventually, once she gets Kotori and Umi on board, she decides to submit her club application to the student council, which is the student council president is Ellie, alongside with Nozomi, who's the vice president. She submits her application and is like, hey, we want to be school idols. And Ellie's just like, why? You realize the school's shutting down. Like, there's no point to doing this. Also, besides, you need 5 members. She's like, oh. Ellie's also just like trying to like figure out like why the school's shutting down. Like, why is all this happening? Isn't there something we can do to fix this? So like she's in her own mind, she's trying to figure out some way to do this. And right now she doesn't see the viability of school idols as a thing that would propel the school forward and get new applicants in a way, because essentially like we said earlier, like school idols aren't a big thing yet. So while like they could do this, like would this in her mind be a thing that's going to really bring new applicants to the school?
Right.
And you would probably look at this logically and be like, no,
you're right.
Why would you waste your time doing this when you could do something else? Probably. So I think it's a little like you already see like a little bit of a difference between like what Dai is portrayed as initially in Sunshine, where she's just like, no, denied. So she gets rejected there, but Honoka is very determined about everything. And then we go back into the song of Susume Tomorrow, where this is how we end things for the episode, where Honoka just darts in front of traffic and dances.
Yeah, that was wild.
And then slides down that big set of stairs via the handrail, not just like butt down the steps.
As you do.
Yes. But that is our first episode.
Yeah, so there's some build up, there's some similarities and some references that I know sort of.
Some backwards references, essentially.
Yeah, backwards references. But yeah, so I guess we'll see what happens next with the gals.
Which we will do next time on episode number 2, where we take a look at season 1, episode number 2, entitled "Let's Start Becoming Idols." Pretty straight to the point. So yeah, we will be continuing on with Love Live and seeing where everything goes, how Muse becomes a thing, and how they become the biggest thing in school idol history for a good long while. So, there you go.
One day we will know the answer, but today is not
I mean,
that
I know
day.
the answer. One day you will know the answer.
All right. You'll know the answer in English.
The Legend of Moose.
Good.
So if you'd like more from us, go to seasonlanguagecheckup.com or sec.cool, where you can find past episodes of this podcast and other podcasts like Season Language Checkup and Season Language Checkup OVA. You can also find columns and reviews on the site as well. If you'd like more from Anladium, go to anladium.com. She's got columns and reviews. And you can follow us on Twitter, twitter.com/animecheckup. So next time, join us as we discuss Season 1, Episode number 2, entitled Let's Start Becoming Idols.
Yeah.